Hello, I'm C-Riggs, and I'm here to explain to you how to become a top player in Insurgency Sandstorm. Now let's jump straight into it, right? So there are two types of simple ways to attack an objective. Take this prison map for an example, and the objective is here, right? So the first way is to just charge front on. You go through the middle, a little bit left, or a little bit right. The second is flanking. So then you go far right or far left. Now both of these can be effective, however the flanking is the most effective in the long term. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the fact that you could just charge up the middle most times and still capture the objective, but what I am saying is that there's normally going to be a lot of resistance in that middle section, and just simply flanking far left or far right already separates you from that simple mob mentality that a lot of people have of just charging in, dying, and repeating over and over. So now I'm going to explain to you the secret mentality of high-level players. And it's actually very simple. So what we typically do is go ahead and flank far left or far right. And that's also using the truck sometimes depending on the map so that you can fully maximize speed and agility to get to that point where you're on the enemies behind. All right. So after that, you actually just want to post up, wait for the enemy respawn, kill the enemies, and then hope that your team can eventually get on that point as you keep slaughtering their respawns, right? So right there with the frag, as you see, I killed 5, and then they're just going to try to respawn again, maybe go left, you kill them again, and by then you have 8 enemies trying to kill you while your 8 teammates are maybe on the point. So check this out. We have Tom Flanks, Snako Draco, X-Zeman, who is actually PLG Mouse, a level 2000. These guys versed me, and you could see they didn't do too hot this match. Now, for those of you that don't already know Tom Flanks, Snako Draco, or PLG Mouse, they are essentially the top console squad on Insurgency Sandstorm, just due to the fact that they simply flank, frag the enemy spawns, and they're very coordinated. And that takes a little effort from you or anyone, and you could be doing the same thing. Now here's 2 occasions of me versing that very squad, and what you see is I don't even have a squad myself. I'm with randoms, and I did very good for myself and actually continued to stay on top of the leaderboard. For me personally, what it takes in Insurgency Sandstorm is adaptability. You got to be able to play every role. You got to be the commander, you got to be the observer sometimes, you got to be the gunner, and you got to be the guy that calls in the minigun, but also the guy that's able to shoot down that minigun. You got to be the gunner on the far flank that the enemy's going to hate you. And then you got to be the guy that plays the objective. Now, all of which is very hard to do because sometimes you might be flanking far right or far left, like I'm trying to teach you, so that you can block the enemy respawns for your team to get on the point. Now, that's a different take on how to win the match, right? Because you're more relying on your teammates compared to charging in the middle or the left or right a little bit to get on the objective. Now, I'm not saying you must play in that certain order. You could still flank far left and far right and get on the objective, but typically it would be better to do that, get behind the enemies, and block their respawns. Well, that wraps up everything today. I'm your boy C-Riggs, and hopefully you learned a thing or two from this video. Peace out.